But first, let's find out what's going on with Diddy because the last we checked from Diddy, Diddy says it's all lies. It's all lies. The media, they make up lies. They tell lies. He said, "What you lied to me, liar, liar, 'cause your pants on fire." It's what he said last time we seen him. He was knocking Cassie in the hallway. Yeah, had her up against the elevator. Bow, bow. You know, let's find out what's going on, honey. Y'all know he was arrested and he was denied bail. But let's find out the details.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Cindy.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Chris Raggi.
And I'm Cindy Shu. Sean Diddy Combs has been charged in federal court in New York City, and an indictment into the charges music mogul's facing was just
Now, Combs that engages
right.
And other people is
federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan and hear more about the charges in this case.
arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
So it sounded like Cassie wasn't the only one, honey, and it sounded like Little Rod might have been on to something. Male escorts specifically? I guess he provided the women. He had the women. So he just need.
Involved multiple commercial sex workers and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported.
Victims, meaning more than one. They already have more than Cassie on deck. Because it sounds like he's retelling the story of Cassie, but you have to listen to every word with these legals, honey. Apparently, he's done this to more than one person, and we don't know if it's male or female.
Reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in.
See how he made it clear? Victim, one victim, about the vase in the hotel. Now that was Cassie.
Injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment.
Now, dictating the physical appearance, that could have definitely been done, but again, we hear multiple victims when it comes to the sexual coercion charges. Could Little Rod have been one of those? Because he did make Little Rod career promises as well. Little Rod is all over that Love album.
And alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion,
defendants walking in off the street. But again, a one
Violence from Combs and others, honey.
after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered supervisors in the business. More than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against
and others.
Witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and
high-ranking supervisors in the business, the music business, Combs and others. However, Combs is the only one being arrested right now.
Household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls.
Now, this is new. Now, this is new as of late 2023. This is when he went quiet. So when he went quiet, and every time we get paparazzi footage of him, he's on the phone. What was Diddy talking about?
Pressured witnesses and victims to stay were made about Combs's crimes. He and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee.
And this has been since 2023. Since 2023, he's done what? What you say, bald-headed man?
Making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than one.
I'm hearing everybody talk about the baby oil, but ain't nobody talk about the tape collection. And you know it's been rumored out here in these streets that Jennifer broke up. Yes, Ben and Jennifer broke up and got a divorce or getting a divorce because Ben had apparently got a hold, or allegedly got a hold, rumor got a hold. I'm stuttering. They said Ben had got a hold of some tapes with Jennifer on it. That was the rumor. And now the FBI saying that they did find tapes, and you think that Ben ain't got no connections, honey? All them Caucasian Americans and crackers that like Ben, all the Negroes that like Ben.
This indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and
Baby, it sounds like every weapon they named is illegal. Sawed off drum magazines, honey, shaving off serial number. Oh, Diddy, you is locked up for real. This ain't even no Kiki. They getting you as a kingpin. Rico, they said, no, not Ricken. No, not Jennifer's ethnicity. No, not Ricken. Rico. Oh, honey, and not Puerto Rico. Diddy, you in jail. For real. Oh, for real, for real. Ooh, like any other still nigga. And they say that you the plot. They say that you the points to get to the bigger fish, honey. Diddy, you better snitch, honey. It ain't looking good for you.
cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine.
Honey, hold on. They said baby oil and lubricant. How much lubricant did you need? Everybody was lubed up, huh? All the male escorts, huh? Child, honey, somebody.
And parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877.
Did y'all hear that? He said it ain't done, honey. What else y'all gonna get him with? Y'all just getting started? Oh Lord, it sounds like the rumors about Diddy is becoming true every day. What is going on? Is he really behind the Tupac assassination? Is he really behind the Biggie assassination? What is happening? Was he really groomed by Andre Harrell and Clive Davis and Russell Simmons? Is Usher one of these co-conspirators? Is that why he was out in Bali with Russell? Who else is going to come forward?
I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI trafficking in persons.
Baby, he is advertising for them to do more work. He shouting these people out because they still working.
Invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SCNY who have also provided
You see, he not just shouting out one or two people. He's shouting out the whole team that's still working on the investigation. The piece of, what do y'all think? Y'all think this going to end up being bigger than OJ?
Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smizer, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleeper.
He calling them out by name. He asking them to continue to keep working on this case these long hours.
And so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Aaron Katursky, ABC.
Thanks, Nick. Damian, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by Sean Combs, and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that
He said it is still ongoing, honey. And we can't talk to you about it.
Diddy Combs' request for bail was denied yesterday. However, there will
Shout out to the Empire.
denial. But part of the reason why the judge yesterday believed that Diddy should not be let out was because of him contacting witnesses, including Diddy Dirty Money star Kalena Harper. Apparently, he contacted her 54 times in just one day. But the craziest part of this Diddy update is Diddy's attorney and him taking shots at Cassie Ventura, claiming that she hit Diddy in the head with a cell phone the day that Diddy harmed her in that hotel hallway, and accused Cassie of cheating on Diddy for years.
That ain't gonna save you. That ain't gonna save you, Diddy. That ain't gonna save you, Diddy. Because even if Cassie was hitting you back, all other women was hitting you. And what about this hate?
For you, both long form and short form. So be sure to check those out so we won't have to.
You guys go and support Empire.
The federal courthouse lawyers haven't even made it out of the courtroom yet. The judge, after an extended detention hearing, about 2 hours, held Sean Combs in custody until his trial. The prosecution argued that he needed to remain in custody because of his coercion of victims and witnesses. In this case, up until September, the defense argued that they were selling his plane. And because they were selling his plane, he's not a flight risk. It was not persuasive. Pretrial services also indicated that Sean Combs should stay in custody, which is part of the judge's decision here. So we will see what happens from court.
And the most important detail, it's not.
Sean Combs should stay in custody, honey.
They do not want him influencing potential witnesses. And I've said to you guys before, people that
Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to run the bad boy empire. I've seen this on my friend's page. Craig the Writer Stewart, honey. Yes. The Maddie's partner at Fag Talk. Craig. Somebody named Asma Bash. She said, educate yourself. This ain't only about X trafficking. This is about Dillion liquor and people who own it. The rest of that stuff is a distraction for the real reason. It's a lot of things at play. Ash, what you talk about? You a crack baby. Y'all think Ash parents was on the pipe? It's getting slow. Yeah. Um but Craig ate her up. And Craig made it clear that Malcolm Jamal Warner's mother was on his podcast, and she said Bill Cosby was never planning to buy NBC. That was an urban myth and a rumor. So yeah, y'all conspiracy theorists, girls, honey, y'all know I'm down for a good conspiracy theory, but only if it's good, honey. Y'all be hopping on any old thing, honey. And I think that might have been what Sis had seen when she had walked in that room. I'm thinking Sis has, when they open up this door,
Hello.
Hi guys.
I think that Sis, when they had opened up that door, I think that Sis has seen a whole room full of black conspiracy theorists and hoteps.